Here's the thing. I was having a conversation with folks, a number of people actually, about this. And it's 6 weeks. I always think here's where I stand on choice before conception. If you want to have a discussion about rape and incest, which are like 0.01%, fine, we'll have a discussion on that. I disagree even. I mean, I just think that you don't punish other individuals, and you can say my body, my choice, which is weird, except that doesn't apply for vaccinations, but that's not your body, that's on the inside. And if you want to have a discussion about being dependent upon government or being dependent upon someone else, there are a lot of people dependent on someone else through being dependent on government. So I would caution you as to use that as your measure. However, with this, 6 weeks is not, that's kind of a long time to make the determination. No matter what the instance is, right? That's the heartbeat. That's kind of a long time to have. You have 6 weeks to make the determination. Now, I'm sure that there are exceptions to the rule, but usually, I know there are exceptions to the rule, but normally you can kind of follow and kind of pick up on different cycles, etc. That's one of the reasons why a friend of mine who was going through infertility and going through IVF and all of that was very upset when her employer was mandating vaccinations, because it like messed her not to give too much of her information, although I'm not even sharing her name. And she has talked about this to an extent and said it was okay to share that much. But that was one of the things she was very worried about because of different menstrual cycle changes. And this has been discussed even by the CDC for people who want to say that it's anti-science. I think you're denying what millions of women are kind of concerned about and what other women have actually gone through. But pro-disease Texas Republicans, I thought those were the Democrats who went and had their super spreader event in DC, right? Fine, have the discussion about rape and incest, 0.01%. But Planned Parenthood's own statistics, which have been available on this thing called the internet forever. I've written about this. I've talked about this in the 13 years that I've been on air. We've gone over this ad nauseum. The majority of people who go and obtain abortions, they use it as a form of birth control. And I do believe that we all follow science, correct? Yep. So we know where babies come from, correct? We know how this happens. It's not a mystery. This is not one of the great, mysteries of the world here. So a couple of things that go along with this. I think when you also bring up very rare instances of rape and incest, there's one thing that I do wish that Republicans would push for. And Democrats, I wish they would go along with them. And that is very hardcore deterrence for predators. If you are a man who decides to attack a woman and you rape her, I've had friends who have survived this, you should be put to death. You can disagree with me 6 ways to Sunday. If you are a child predator, you should be put to death. It should be a capital offense. And I don't know how we can have any conversation about 6 weeks or anything. That needs to also be part of it. Make predators afraid. Someone had mentioned to me, I just don't know how you can be pro-life when you're for the death penalty. I don't know how anyone could stupidly compare innocent babies that have never been able to make such a decision of their own free will, babies who are not aware of what the law is or isn't, and are unaware and also unable to actually perform a capital offense, to compare that to an adult who makes that decision freely. You're saying that essentially just by existing, babies are as bad as people who commit capital offenses, and that their offense is merely existence. That is a horrible argument. It is illiberal and it is anti-science. Stop.